world and all who inhabit it. My name is Jessica J, aka Jesse J Plays. I am joined by Emperor Stove, who has graciously agreed to co-host Junior Trials 2005 with me. How you doing today, Stove? How you feeling?
Well, it's a little uncomfortable with these chains that you tied to the back of my arms and put me in the basement for Junior Trials 2005. But other than that, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, Stove was not willing to play junior format. I'm not sure why. It is the most complex, most skillful, and most intelligent format of all time, some people are saying.
Oh,
Um,
it wasn't that I wasn't willing to play Junior format. It's that I wasn't willing to look at the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were released in 2005.
Now this is an interesting point. This is actually quite interesting. Is the GX era of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game famously bad, famously low power card releases in normal TCG, OCG, but in Junior format, some of these cards are actually busted. Like GX is a memorably high power time for Junior format rule set. And I am looking forward to just sitting down with the card pool with you a little bit and
Mhm.
seeing if we can just eyeball a playable format. Um, a couple of notes before we begin. First of all, um, this is not the most optimal of circumstances to be constructing the 2005 pre-ban list. Usually, I like to have the previous year's episodes recorded and done by the time I do this, but scheduling for the month of um what fucking month is this? March.
I believe it's March.
It is fully March. It's still March. Scheduling for the month of March got a little bit weird. So I am just going into this hoping that, not having seen the end of 2004 tournament and just kind of hoping that the Discord has not constructed some kind of insane broken wombo combo that I am not aware of. So we'll do our best, and I hope y'all don't screw me over. Um, so in terms of how this works, I really like these ban lists to be collaborative processes. I like us, me and my respective co-hosts, to kind of come to a consensus to the extent that we can. So I always like to say that, to the best of our abilities, we should go ahead and take our disagreements in the ban list in levels. Um, and like in terms of how we're debating and constructing the format, knowing, checking in with yourself and knowing if a disagreement is a mild disagreement, meaning you don't think it affects the format enough or you don't disagree with it enough to argue with it, a moderate disagreement where you are willing to let it pass but you do want to hear more justification for it, or a major disagreement where, you are vetoing it, and also I'm glad America has secret police because I'm calling them on you right now. Um,
I didn't realize it was that it went that far.
it was we take junior format very seriously here.
Oh God.
Um, Yeah, so just having an idea of the level of disagreement and how that informs how we come to a consensus on banning ban lists. And in addition to that, I will say uh, there are kind of two parts to constructing a pre-ban list. There are the cards that were released before 2005, the cards that like already existed in the format, which like I feel generally pretty good about how we left the format off. I wish TCG and I in the year 2004 for specifically 2004 releases, but like there are at least a couple cards I can think of that like with new releases, with like new context of new cards being available, no longer feel okay. And
Mhm.
on the other hand, there might be cards that like were too powerful in 2004 that like are completely fine now. So there's like reviewing 2004 releases, and then there is looking at the cards that are released in the year 2005. And generally, we can to some extent, we don't need to absolutely murder the card pool if there's a 2005 release that we're kind of on the edge with. I would lean towards leaving it and at least like for 2005 part 1 just letting it play out cuz like hey, it's a new card. It's like a new context. But there are even with that, there are a couple cards that are just so obviously not okay that we want to pre-ban them, even like not played. Do you have
Hmm.
any questions for me?
Um, no, I don't think so. We can jump in. Talk
Awesome.
about some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably bounce back and forth between
Hmm.
the like pre 2005 pool and 2005 pool because there are like a couple of situations where context matters. But there are a couple that I think of bands that I think are pretty easy. First of all, Brain Control is released in 2005, and I don't think that is fun.
Yeah, BrainCon is mostly just like it's just change of heart because like
Yeah.
like even with the errata like it's there's almost no cards it applies to anyway.
Yeah,
So it
even
is just steal a huge guy and punch them with it is like crazy.
yeah, the errata does not stop you from stealing your opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragon.
No.
Um, and along and the next thing that I think is probably too strong. Oh, that was the other thing. Did you get my link that I emailed you for the ban list document?
Um the one that you sent in Discord, yeah.
Oh,
Or did
I
you
just
email it to me?
emailed you one.
Oh shoot. Let me actually check what
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, because
Oh, I see.
it probably will like visually it kind of helps to give you context
Gotcha.
of what we're looking for. So right
Okay.
now, this
I got
ban list that this document you're looking for, I just copied and pasted the
you. Mhm.
2004 Part 2 list, and we're just going to make changes to this
Okay.
one over time.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. So we're banning brain control. I would also say that spiritual fire art Kurenai takes on a very different meaning in junior format because the monsters that you can summon are just so big. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
because you can tribute Tyrant Dragon and burn for 2,900. You can tribute Ultimate Obedient Fiend and burn for 3,500. You can chain it to your opponent's removal. It is like a build around that for a period of time was like unbeatable. So I think it's probably not healthy.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, the like, in TCG, this card wasn't as big of a deal because it was really hard to get a really large fire monster on the board, but and
Yeah,
also it was much easier to play around like Kurenai, but in junior format, normal summon ultimate obedient fiend burn for 35 is pretty fucking good.
yeah, for sure. It is pretty funny how the only thing I kind of like about Spiritual Fire Art Kurina is that it did lead to a format where what is the name of the ultra rare monster in the fire structure deck from like 2005?
Oh, shoot, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Infernal Flame Emperor.
Infernal Flame Emperor was playable when Spiritual
Yeah.
Fire Art was legal, and I find that funny. But I don't think it's enough to like possibly ruin
Hmm.
the format.
If it was like oh, this makes like fire centric decks like competitive in the like as like a different thing you could do, that would be kind of neat for diversity. But if it's like too strong, like you're saying,
Yeah, if it's like it's kind of like the only thing worth playing after Passion.
yeah,
Especially because
okay,
like the other thing about Infernal Flame Emperor is that it also um
back
like
removal.
well it it's not that it's back row removal, it's that it also makes Dora of Fate playable.
The fuck Is Dora fake? I mean, I've
You
seen the
need to
card before, but
you
I don't
need to
remember what
read
it
this
is.
text and like contextualize it in
Okay.
junior format because it is so funny. It
If
is
the monster goes right, using the normal
insane.
summon that's one level lower, burn for the. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, I see. That's a level 9 too. Oh God.
So your opponent summons has a
Oh, and the most common normal summon level is probably level 8,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
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 Oh, Jesus. Okay,
I
I see.
actually I do want to keep my eye on Dora of Fate. It is really funny though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It might be like this was a card that was like legal in 2004, and I don't think it saw too much success because it's very specific. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really the best use of your like limited one trap card per turn. It's like
Yeah.
but it does say deal 4,000 damage.
It sure does. Yeah, if this was like a format where you could set a bunch of back row, I would see this card like going kind of crazy. But the fact that you can only set one per turn,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Uh,
think keeps this card from being a
yeah.
problem.
We will. It's worth keeping an eye on, but I do. I think I. It's funny enough that I think I want to see it resolve in an episode at least before we like do anything to it. Um. Now, did you get a chance to look at the 2005 card pool and like, is there anything that like kind of sticks out to you?
Yeah, I looked at the card pool. I don't have a ton of experience with junior format, but um, the the cards that like stuck out to me as being good didn't necessarily stick out to me as being like broken. Like cards like Ancient Gear Golem, like Tyler the Great Warrior, and of course, the return of the goat. You know who we're talking about.
BES
The
motherfucking Tetrin.
our favorite retrain of Breaker the Magical Warrior, BES Tetrin.
I love
Um,
BES.
how do you feel about something like Lightning Vortex?
I think we will see, but I think the thing about Lightning Vortex is a lot of the time Smashing Ground is just better in junior format.
Hmm.
Because it's just like a straight up one for one, where like if your opponent is kind of playing around board wipes and they're only sticking one face up monster at a time, then like Lightning Vortex is a minus. You can like set Despair from the dark or like set big guys to kind of have in reserve if your opponent uses it. So I would say I didn't notice it being too terribly scary in like the first season.
That makes sense. And also, yeah, you're setting cards a decent amount of the time
Yeah.
still, I imagine. So,
Yeah.
and it's not like it's easy to get like 5 monsters on the board in Lightning
Yeah, yeah,
Vortex.
yeah. Speaking
I
of
guess.
what's that?
There is one card that I saw that I'm not sure how big this card is or at least was when we did it in 2005 the first time. But like Mechanical Hound seems like it could be a dickhead.
The only thing about Mechanical
Sounds
Hound is
familiar?
that the one set per turn makes it pretty hard
I guess, yeah.
to
Hard to empty your hand.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think the thing about Mechanical Hound though is that it brings up a really great point, which is that the machines in 2005 are kind of busted.
Mm.
And there are a couple of cards from the 2004 pool that specifically facilitate a machine strategy that were fine in 2004 and just are just immediately not okay in 2005. One of them
Hmm.
that I think we probably cannot deal with is limiter removal.
Mm. Yeah, that card does seem
You just 6,000
like
attack monsters.
it's the card that kills you.
It is the card that kills you. It was broken even in season one, even back when it was not a quick play spell. So I
Yeah.
think it's probably not okay.
Oh yeah, the fact that you can use it as a damage step trick now, that
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that seems way too strong.
Oh, it's crazy. And then I think we are probably past the point where Cyberstein is okay. Um, It
Yeah,
was.
that was one thing I looked at. Sorry,
You're good.
I thought so. I thought Cyberstein came out in '05, so I was looking through the card pool. I was like, wait, Cyberstein's not in here. And then I looked and so, it said it was '04. And then I looked at the ban list and saw it wasn't on it, and I was like,
Yeah.
hmm.
It is pretty mediocre in 2004. The best thing they're
Mhm.
gonna do is summon Master of Oz, which is funny. Don't get me
Okay.
wrong. It's really big, but it is just like a guy that can attack once and loses to all the removal in the format. The big changes in 2005 format are number one, you get twin-headed Cyber Dragon,
Hmm.
which is a really strong new target. And number two, UFO Roid releases. Now,
Oh,
UFO
yeah.
Roid is a card that I dearly love in junior format because I have no earthly idea why they chose to print it as a level 6 monster. It's like completely useless in TCG. But in Junior, it's pretty good. And so
Mhm.
I think Cyberstein is probably done now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Rip in peace. We
Fuck this
were
guy.
we were talking about setting monsters. One of the rules that we have in junior trials to kind of differentiate it from junior journey is that if a card um has tribute summon in its text, it is instead treated as saying normal summon.
Hmm.
This has, of course, made the monarchs function very differently, which you may have seen in the ban list.
I sure did.
Yeah, yeah,
I saw it in the episode
yeah.
too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So with that being said, I because I love BES Tetrin so much, I would maybe be interested in limiting Grandmarg. Just because if we don't, it might just be better BES Tetrin, and it might just encourage people not to play Tetrin.
I thought about it and I was like, I we definitely can't leave this card at 3.
Yeah,
I think it's weight like the fact that it hits both back row and set monsters is so powerful, and it's just like it's almost like in this format like a side grade on Mobius in that like it can hit like it only hits one card but it can hit monsters too. Like it's kind of like an in between Mobius and Zaborg,
yeah.
and both of those cards are way too strong.
Okay.
Um so I would be, yeah, I think it would be fine. I don't think necessarily we need to ban it. I think, yeah, one could be good.
I think
But
it could. We could keep our eye on it. I could see this
yeah,
like going to 0 in part two.
I could definitely see that
Yeah,
too. But we'll see.
yeah. We can let
Like,
it. We can let it hang out a minute.
hmm.
We should talk. Okay, so first of all, Um, Ancient Gear Golem. This card was
Yeah.
banned in season one. I think some of these bunguses are so funny, so I try to give them a little bit of leeway, at least in part one. That
Hmm.
being said, I don't know that I want Ancient Gear Golem at more than one copy, because it does like 17 different things. The fact that it has both 3k attack and 3k defense is important. The fact that it burns, the fact that it makes Mirror Force essentially useless in the format. I think this is another one that I think there's a really good chance it'll be banned in part two, but I think I would like to also limit it right now.
I mean, yeah, we can do that. I mean, it is just kind of the ultimate bungus. Like
Yeah.
it is the dream bungus. I don't know how like when exactly bunguses start kind of falling off, but I don't think we're there yet. Like
It
bunguses, I
Bungus
assume, are
was
still
good
really
until
good.
like 2013. It
Yeah.
needed I think
Um,
it was Dragon Ruler that finally made it start to fall off.
yeah. Like I could see banning this card straight away because it is just so powerful.
Yeah.
There's just like nothing you can do about it unless you like draw bottomless, it feels like. Or I guess torrential.
I think.
But
Oh,
like
we should actually chat about torrential BTW.
okay. Okay.
Okay. So, the in one of the things that's really interesting about this format is that Mirror Force is so bad. Which is notable because there are essentially 6 copies of Mirror Force in Junior Trials format, with 3 copies of Mirror Force and 3 copies of Blast held by Tribute. But
Hmm.
with the Ancient Gears all having the fuck Mirror Force clause, with 3 Tetrin, with Grand Marg, there are just so many like things that make it like not really sufficient anymore.
Mm.
So my thinking is actually number one, Mirror Force is semi-limited. I think there was semi-limited in 2004. I think we can just completely bring it to 3.
Sure.
And then number two, I would be interested in what the format looks like if we brought Torrential Tribute to 3 to allow for more cards that play around all these new cards that like just soundly defeat battle tricks.
Um, let's see. That's I mean that's in like torrential is interesting as like a recovery tool sometimes. Um,
Yeah. It's all you can
you're
also play around it by setting cards.
you can, that's also true. Um, it's like it's a really strong card, but it does kind of like check cards like Grand Mark and Tetrin in the fact that like it renders them kind of their removal a little bit meaningless because you can just chain them and then blow them up.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mirror Force being so hateable. Yeah, you know what? It is probably good to have a good trap card. Um, we're gonna try. Are you trying the? You want to try putting Torrential to 3? Is that what you're gonna try?
we could put it to 3. We can also put it
Me
to
too.
2 if you're not sure.
I don't know. It is really really strong,
Yeah.
but
How about this?
mhm,
Semi-limit Torrential Tribute, semi-limit Trap Hole.
I'm down with that.
Okay, though, yeah, both of those cards are limited right now. We will
Mm.
give the format a little bit more like on summon destruction.
Yeah, that's the kind of interaction we kind of it looks like we need
Yeah.
given what we're getting.
Oh,
I'm cool with that.
tribute, semi-limit, trap, hole. Yeah, that'll give us a little bit more to do at this stage in the game. Okay, so what else have we got? We got limiter removal, we got Cyberstein. We dealt with the trap cards. This is very specific, and I want you to stick with me.
Okay.
Um, are I have always really disliked the way that Phoenix Wing Windblast interacts with tempo in this format. Because during your opponent's end phase, you go Phoenix Wing Windblast, target their set card, you are denying your opponent essentially their next draw, and then because they only get 1 set per turn, it's really hard for them to like get back that tempo because now they have to choose between setting the card that they just drew or like setting another card in their hand.
Hmm. Yeah, like if you open 2 trap cards, first turn you set a card, second, turn 2 they wind blast you, then you're just kind of like yeah, it's more than denying them the draw, it's also denying them the ability to set another card too.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes
Okay.
sense to me.
I would love to just ban Phoenix Wing Windblast because it is just so game winning, and it's like almost like a mini Yatagarasu in junior format.
Okay, I'm in.
Cool. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
It
Um,
is a -1, but it also like is it's so good for tempo.
yeah. Um, and then I think those are like my strongest. The ones I feel the strongest about are the ones that we have already tackled. There are a
Mhm.
couple more that I'm not certain about, and I want to uh uh just bounce off of you a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
First of all, let's chat about Gatling Dragon. One of the things that I do in this format that I kind of enjoy is that we are leaving stuff like metamorphosis and magical scientist legal,
Hmm.
and to some extent just like banning fusion monsters that are like make those cards too strong, which is why Last Warrior from Another Planet is on the ban list. Um, I think that Gatling Dragon could be another one. I think because it's new, we maybe don't ban it yet. Um but the fact that like if your opponent is playing Metamorphosis, they can potentially summon just like a card who becomes Raigeki. Um and also just
Mm.
and there's also the fact of like um one of the things you learn in like doing junior format is stuff like barrel dragon and blowback dragon being meta is funny the first time, but then all subsequent times you're like, oh, this game is literally being decided by a coin flip. So even though like I don't think Gatling Dragon is necessarily broken, I think it has the potential to be very annoying.
Yeah, like this, I feel like this card is just gonna steal a game, like for
Yeah.
sure. Like it's just gonna, and it's gonna feel like
Yeah.
really bad when it happens.
Yeah. Do you
I
want?
wouldn't
Do
be
you
upset
want to?
about like just banning it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's
Yeah.
ban this card. Who cares?
It's also like a really good level for Metamorphosis. Like it's level
Yeah.
you're already playing anyway.
Yeah. You can just go into it whenever. Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll just get rid of Gatling Dragon. Um.
Barrel Dragon and Blowback are both banned, so.
Yeah. It's like keeping with the tradition. Um. I am not sure how I feel about Dimension Wall. Because on one hand,
Yeah.
Magic Cylinder is banned. Cause like the fact that monsters are just so big makes it like a huge consideration. On the other hand, we have kept Ring of Destruction limited because it's eroded, and that has worked out pretty all right in my opinion. I think Ring of Destruction has been a decently interesting addition to the format. So I'm trying to figure out where on the spectrum from Magic Cylinder to Ring of Destruction Dimension Wall is going to end up.
So here's how I feel about Dimension Wall. First of all, it's way worse than Magic Cylinder.
This is
Um,
true.
the the fact that it does not negate the attack and protect your monsters is really bad, and it's really only good if you're being attacked directly.
Yeah.
So the way I feel about Dimension Wall is that it's only going to be good in like a dedicated burn deck.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if that deck exists. If it exists, I can see Dimension Wall, but I really don't think it's worth playing as a one card you can set per turn in just a
Yeah.
random deck. I don't think it's that good at all.
I do get that. Because like
Hmm.
if you could like set your whole hand, then you have like additional options.
Hmm.
That would be one thing. But like if you are like, oh, I have a torrential tribute and a dimension wall, 99 times out of 100 you're setting the torrential tribute.
Yeah,
So
like you
what? Yeah.
can't play. Sorry.
No, you're good.
You can't like play more than, maybe like 10 traps in your deck just because of the one set per turn. And like I can't imagine this being the one of the 10 traps that you play in your deck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I am. We'll leave Dimension Wall. And if we're wrong, we can revisit this in part two.
They can get mad at us.
Yeah. Just get mad at us, Junior Discord. Simply fight us.
Please
Fucking.
send your complaints to twitch.tv/iwishtcg.
This is true. Send your complaints and your death threats to iwishiwasdead.com. Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, we got all of that. Um there was a point in junior format where the sheer number of cards that were either threatening roar or threatening roar like started to hit a little bit of a critical mass and started to make decks where you could just like set a card, activate Threatening Roar, set a card, activate Waboku, set a card, activate the one that activates in standby phase. Like the fact that there are
Hmm.
9 of those cards does maybe enable some degenerate stall strategies. So
Okay.
it might be worth. I'm not sure what the ratio is. Maybe we ban one of those three. Maybe we limit one or two of them. But I think that is worth considering.
Sure. I think of the three, if you're talking about Waboku, Threatening Roar, and Thunder of Ruler,
Yeah.
I would say the best one is Waboku.
Yeah.
For a cup, one, you can use it on your turn if you need to. Two, what you can do is like if you have like a flip monster but you don't want it to die, you can let it get attacked and it flips immediately. Whereas if with threatening roar, you negate the attack, but then if you want to get the value, you have to flip it yourself.
Yeah, you have to flip it yourself or you
Hmm.
have to lose the monster.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can murder Waboku.
Yeah, I think that would be if that's something you're concerned about, then I think Ban Waboku would
Yeah.
be the best way to do that.
Okay. We'll go ahead and do that. Um This I'm not so certain about, but I kind of want to keep my eye on System Down just because there are so many machine monsters in the format.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny how like if somebody's playing a dedicated machine deck, then people can just side better Raigeki against them, beginning this weird era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Konami printed the most busted side deck cards against machine exactly.
Hmm. Um, I
I don't think it's bannable yet, probably,
yeah,
but it's like
I would
maybe
agree.
worth looking at.
Yeah, if machines are, you know, I think if it's like if this card is like unavoidable because machines are everywhere, that's where System Down becomes like I think it's fine to have a counter card for a specific type of deck, but
Yeah,
if like it's this good is good all the time, maybe it's an issue. But yeah, I
yeah.
think we this is one we should let play out and see.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Um, I only have one more, and this is actually an unhit. This might be a crackpot idea, but the Discord
Okay.
suggested it, and I am increasingly warming to it, and I think this might be a good format to try it out.
Okay.
Dark Magician of Chaos is eroded.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that you don't get the spell card until the end of the turn. That means that you are not you it also needs to be on the board in order for you to get the card during the end phase, so it like hard loses to torrential tribute, trapple, mirror force, all that kind of stuff. So if you like manage to stick it, you are likely not attacking with it. I also think that Chaos was good in 2004, but I think there are just so many powerful Earth monsters in 2005 that we actually are a little bit more in the realm where like you can afford to give Chaos a little bit back. Um, and then like the obviously returning a spell card from your graveyard to your hand is good, but it happens during the end phase. Spell cards tend to be a lot weaker in junior format because of the way that they interact with the rule set. And value is good in junior format rule set, but it's not kind of the be all end all. Like Pot of Greed is legal in this format, and it's like a good card. People play it, but it doesn't like break the game. So I am kind of curious what the format looks like with one DMOC.
I would say you probably don't want to bring it to more than one, but I can see that. Like obviously spell cards, like adding back a spell card during the end phase is much less strong in this format than it would be in TCG because you can only use one per turn. Like card, it's much. harder and I guess slower to convert like pure card advantage into winning the game in junior format because of the restrictions on what you can play. So it's a little bit less powerful. Um, I think honestly part of the reason why this card is why this I would be worried about this is the fact that it's also DD Warrior Lady.
Yeah, that's like
But
kind of the biggest thing, but
uh,
like the fact that you are kind of afraid to attack with it
mhm,
upon your first normal summon, because like if it gets battle tricked, then you lose the spell effect. I
mhm.
think will go a decent amount, and then the other side of it is that like uh one of the best things that you can do right in this format probably is just play Witch of the Black Forest and search the Monarch. And
Yeah,
I don't actually mind there being a little bit of counterplay to that because the Monarchs keep being so busted.
sure. You know what? Yeah,
Yeah,
it could be interesting to see one of this card. It's the way I'm thinking of it now is it's Magician of Faith, but with
beefy.
summoning sickness. But also it's like it loses to more stuff. Like it loses to Trap Hole, it loses to, Torrential
Yeah.
in a way that
Okay.
Moth doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm down.
Yeah. I think it is worth experimenting with, if nothing else. Um.
Again, if it breaks the format,
Ooh.
twitter.com/. I wish
Twitter.com/iwishtcg. Is I wish still on Twitter? Is that does anybody still use Twitter? Is Twitter
I mean,
real?
I've stopped using Twitter, so I don't know.
I got banned from Twitter again.
Yeah.
um, okay, so I think that is all of the stuff on that I kind of had on my list. Do you
Um,
have anything else?
I think there's one bungus we didn't talk about, which is the boy Tyler. Are we playing
Ooh,
with Tyler?
ooh, ooh. I'm honestly not sure. Just because for lore reasons, there's only like one or two that exist in the world, and we had fun with Tyler in season 1. I think to a certain extent, I would be okay with saying like Tyler is mainly like King Scarlet's card. It is the card that King Scarlet used to absolutely baffle Dezif in the best episode of Junior Journey. Um, if anything, I might maybe we implement a funny rule where you are allowed to play Tyler only if you provide proof to the Junior Discord that you own it in real life.
If you are the person that
if you
Tyler sold the card to,
if
you
you
are allowed to play it.
Mrs. $150,000 on eBay or whatever it was.
Okay, so no Tyler, no
Yeah,
Tyler.
I know Tyler
Okay,
unless you can prove that you own
yeah,
it.
because this card is like just incredibly good.
Yeah, I mean
It's a
it's search.
bungus that's Flame Wingman and it's searchable by
Yeah,
Wish.
it's searchable by which it searchable by wish searchable by which
Make
it
make a
is
witch.
it's very format defining for sure, and I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would probably say no Tyler for this
Hmm.
season. And if Discord, if you disagree with this, fight me in real life.
Yeah, like it actually might be even if we said it was legal, it might be too strong.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we'll just say no Tyler the Great Warrior this season.
Okay, okay. I have one other question, but I wasn't sure how this worked. How does Guilford the Lightning work? Because I did see Moisture Creature used, and it like was like just a like a regular monster. Does it not have an effect?
Let me read this card's text really quick.
It's the
Guilford
one. It's
the
Moisture Creature, but for monsters instead of spell traps. You contribute 3 monsters to tribute summon it.
Oh yeah, so
That
this
thing.
text would be treated as you contribute 3 monsters to normal summon it if you do destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So you can
Okay.
tribute 3 monsters to Raigeki your opponent's board.
Okay. Cool. 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 Okay.
Yeah,
That's not an issue
yeah,
then.
that's fine.
If it was just like on Thor will summon, destroy all monsters. Yeah, that'd probably be the
Yeah,
problem.
I think that if that were how it worked, this and Moisture Creature would indeed go in the bin.
Okay, cool. I think that is all of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I had thought of.
Yeah, I think this format is going to be completely perfect and there will be no
Yep,
flaws.
yep. We've another perfect format that will never have any issues and nothing bad will happen ever again.
I 100% agree with you. That's pretty much going to do it for the recording video portion of this. Do you have anything else to leave the YouTube off with?
Uh,
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I couldn't think of anything funny to say.